No industry is exempt from this threat. Everybody faces this threat equally. The laws are both generalized and specific in this area, but the bottom line is the cyber attackers are not terribly discriminating, and they go after every company from which they think they can get any information that they can monetize. When we think of cyber events, we really think of three buckets of threat actors. We think about traditional hackers who are in it for monetary gain. They want to sell the data that they steal. We think of nation-state actors, also known as APT attacks, advanced persistent threats. And these are nation-states who are committing cyber espionage. And the third bucket are hacktivists. And these are folks who form a loose confederation who are going after companies mostly for the embarrassment factor, but these could be very, very significant events. And of course, overlaid on top of all of these buckets are insiders, which can fall into any of those categories. And also, the vendor threat is a very significant threat because vendors sometimes have authorized access to either data or our systems. If there's a rogue actor at the vendor's office, or if the vendor's systems are not as secure and there's access into their systems by a rogue player, then they can have access to our data. So we can have a fortress-like environment around our systems, but if somebody with authorized access gets into our systems, then there is a compromise to that data. The types of attacks that corporate America has suffered have really evolved. In the early days, we talked a lot about brute force attacks. Now we worry very much about phishing. Phishing is taking advantage of human tendencies to please. For example, if somebody calls and says, "I'm your help desk, could you help me to fix something in your system?" we tend to say, "Sure." And of course that means that if the help desk is really an attacker, they're getting into your system and they will have ready access to all of the data in the system. We also, of course, have been besieged by phishing emails. And phishing emails are just about 100% successful because if you send 1,000 of them, one person is bound to click on that attachment and download malware into the system, and there they are. And they have access to your full network.